Of football do you want now? From Kylian Mbappé. To admit that Kylian Mbappé is the club's star. To admit that without Kylian Mbappé, the coach wouldn't have been anywhere. Kylian Mbappé, guys. He's broken the limits, passed all the lines, gone beyond the limits of the Real Madrid players. All Mbappé's done this season is embarrassing the players around him. Remember back in the day when people used to say, "What do you have to do with Barcelona?" MSN was in Real Madrid with BBC, and they used to talk about Benzema and Cristiano, like Cristiano had Benzema and Gareth Bale, while on the other side Messi had Suarez and Neymar. Sorry guys, right now Real Madrid's lineup is just one M throughout La Liga. We hoped, honestly, that the R and V we have could do something. We wished it would be MRV, VR, MVR, or whatever. Like anything, man. We just wanted it to be something. But honestly, guys, Real Madrid is all built around just one letter. The letter M. Just the M. The only one who truly deserves to be called the owner of Real Madrid. And if you disagree, come argue with me in the comments and say I'm exaggerating or overhyping because I'm just hyping a player for views. But this player is doing his job, scoring goals, leading La Liga in goals, and every goal is better than the last. Besides the penalties, which are a bit questionable. So what am I supposed to say? Should I insult him? Fine, I will. Go ahead, tell me in the comments I should be insulting Kylian Mbappé instead, because they say he doesn't run properly into the half spaces. Is that good for you? If you're watching this, just go ahead and hit that 200 likes. Don't be lazy. Come on. Hit the 200 likes, man. It's embarrassing not to. If you're not subscribed yet, go subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any of our new stuff. So let's get started. The players actually showed some responsibility and played like they cared. They realized how embarrassing and gross the way they looked was, especially with Barcelona at the top. We looked awful in front of everyone. If Atletico Madrid wins the next game, they might take second place from us, and honestly, our situation is just laughable and pathetic. People are making fun of us everywhere. We can't keep going like this. The Real Madrid players finally stepped up and took some responsibility. Big applause for them. Seriously, a huge round of applause. They finally realized how bad they were looking in front of everyone and decided to step up and improve themselves. If they can beat Athletic Bilbao, score some goals, and get everyone watching the team feeling proud of the guys, Real Madrid finally remembered that a football player's job is actually to play football. Real Madrid players finally got it. That playing football is their main job. Honestly, I used to think a footballer's job was to start fights in the locker room or just ask for a raise in contract without delivering anything on the pitch. I thought being a footballer meant acting like a diva all the time. He's causing problems with the coach and doesn't want to renew his contract because of the coach. Man, it's either Vinicius or nothing. Vini, my brother, Vini, my love, my heart's one and only. Dude, you're a great player, skilled and all that, no doubt. But I'm keeping it real. You're asking for a 30 million contract, right? Then how much should Kylian Mbappé be asking for? When you want 30 million a year, what should Mbappé be asking for? With the way Mbappé plays, Florentino Perez should keep him for life. I'm not saying you're not a great, important player, one of the best in the world with a high level, but still, that's how it is. But when Kylian Mbappé comes to renew his contract, what exactly should he ask for? Like, what's the number that matches his abilities and what he actually delivers on the field? Honestly, I don't have an answer to that, but I want you to hit me up in the comments and tell me how much Mbappé should normally ask for when renewing, especially from Real Madrid. Also, let's not forget Camavinga's value. Sometimes we forget he's even playing for Real Madrid. But honestly, when Camavinga's on the pitch, you can feel the difference. You sense the spirit, the energy in the game. So the whole thing about the players at Real Madrid who have guts is kind of a sensitive topic, like confidential stuff. Most of the time, you don't even notice it or pay attention to it. Except for that one guy who gets fouled for penalties, Mr. Chouameni. People pretty much ignore it like it's no big deal. But honestly, Camavinga definitely deserves some praise, just like the whole Real Madrid team in that match. For the first time in a long time. Seriously, what I saw in the first half between Real Madrid and Athletic Bilbao honestly made me happy for a lot of reasons. We're basically just throwing the ball up the field because we know Real Madrid's defense. We're not going to get anywhere. We'll just keep talking and wasting energy without getting results. In the end, the defensive star of the match will be Thibaut Courteous. End of story. I don't think there's much to debate there. But the intensity Real Madrid showed in the first half and the feeling that the team took some responsibility, I'm not saying the team was excellent or amazing or did everything perfectly on the ball, but there was a sense of responsibility and a clear idea that the team knows the situation is tough and that we need to stand by him. And we've got to get some positive results because our image has taken a hit in front of people. Barcelona is leading by 4 points now. So we need to pull ourselves together, respect ourselves a bit, and show some appreciation and respect. Not just for the big guy running the club, but also for fans who buy tickets just to watch the matches. The maturity we showed in the first half was really important and noticeable. Honestly, while watching the first half, I was thinking one thing: if Real Madrid doesn't score more than one goal in the first half, they're either going to draw or lose this match. But in the first half, Real Madrid managed to finish with a 2-0 lead. We saw the players showing huge improvement, some of the best performances we've watched on the pitch. In this half, I believe there's a player who, despite getting praised, some people think the best way to show you understand football is to talk badly about him and mock him. There's another player I think is improving, but nobody's really given him enough credit for the progress he's making on the field. Let me start with the second player, and that's Trent Alexander-Arnold. Talking about Arnold, you get the feeling he's a bit sensitive when it comes to people. When you talk about Arnold, it feels like there's a fight between two groups. One, the Real Madrid fans who aren't happy about is improving a lot. In those games, it's pretty clear. The role of Valverde here is to cover for him, while Arnold will be the one making the attacking runs. This really shows how strong Arnold is when it comes to passing. For example, in the first goal, the guy made like 5, 6, 7, 8 passes that Real Madrid would usually need to make to get to the spot where Kylian Mbappé is standing. Then he hits one long pass, cuts through everything, and gets the ball to Mbappé. And we'll also talk more about Mbappé later. In the second goal, check out how perfectly he moves into space, showing up in the right spot to make the cross that Mbappé, and then Mbappé rises up. Camavinga made it easy for you so that Camavinga could score the second goal. All this shows that finally, Arnold is starting to get used to life at Real Madrid. At the same time, the coach is somehow pulling some tricks out of the sleeve. But, of course, nothing's perfect. Around the 54th or 55th minute, Alexander-Arnold got tired and said, "Excuse me, I gotta go!" Probably because of the international break schedule, even though there wasn't an actual break. He left the field injured and Raul Asensio came on. Honestly, Real Madrid fans can't stay happy for a player reach good form. The second player. For some reason, I feel like when a player reaches that level, at a certain level of skill, some people don't mind putting others down, while some others are okay with saying that a player isn't as great as he seems. Now, when I say someone isn't as great as he looks, I'm talking about the club owner, the guy I've nicknamed the club owner, and we'll keep calling that. The guy who used to be the man back in the days, now like Xabi Alonso, literally selling tissues on the streets of Madrid this season. That player is Kylian Mbappé. Honestly, I don't even know what's expected from him compared to what he's actually doing right now. For people to give him full credit, 100%. And There's no denying this, right? Because I feel like Kylian Mbappé is the guy who shows up every match giving a perfect 10 for his team. People have this strong, wild urge to prove on paper that, yeah, maybe there's something missing. But when you look for that missing part, you find stuff like the ball went out, or he just couldn't get to it in time, or he should have put more pressure but didn't, especially since the attack was already cut off by Real Madrid. He was supposed to add some extra presence there, but didn't. Still, if you look at him overall as a player, you realize Real Madrid just isn't the same without Kylian Mbappé. You're basically fighting to avoid relegation. Not just that, you're actually competing for a spot to qualify for the Europa League, so don't be upset. Real Madrid would have been in 8th place, but Kylian Mbappé, just look at that first goal, his agility, speed, the way he moves, the way he carries the ball out. He literally dodged multiple players pressing him. The guy moved from the center circle in the middle of the pitch, took the ball all the way into Athletico Bilbao's penalty area, and scored the first goal. And not only that, watch the smoothness in his movement and the understanding between him and his teammate Vinijr, apart from the fact that I know people think he won't stay with Real Madrid and that he's not continuing and all that talk. The point is this. Even if Vini doesn't stay with Real Madrid, even if he doesn't renew his contract with the team, let's be honest, Kylian Mbappé isn't the reason. Mbappé is trying to connect with all the players around him. He's making an effort to be mentally present with all of them and give his best, whether it's when carrying the ball out, moving in the attack, or switching positions between him and Vini. Vini holding the depth while Mbappé moves forward. Kylian Mbappé can do all that perfectly, but my constant feeling when watching Real Madrid is that people just want to cut Mbappé down and that's it. They don't really know what else they want from him, like what more he's supposed to do. If anyone has a clear answer and can tell us exactly what Mbappé is missing or lacking to be the best player who can really serve Real Madrid, please explain it to us in the comments or in a short or long video. Because some people see Mbappé as the biggest problem inside the Real Madrid team, and if he's not on the field, it would solve a ton of problems for the team. That's something no one inside Real Madrid can argue about. Whether you love the team or hate it, that Courteous is hands down the best keeper in Real Madrid's history. Seriously, I get that for the older generation like us, who grew up watching Iker Casillas, that was the peak for us. Then after him, all the goalkeepers just added pressure. We've seen keepers like Dudek at one point playing for Real Madrid, and we've seen Diego Lopez. We've seen things no one would expect from Keylor Navas's reign. Seriously, we've seen a lot from Real Madrid's goalkeepers, including Kiko Casilla. We've seen it all. But guys, Courteous is just untouchable. This guy, since last season or the one before, has proven he's the best goalkeeper in Real Madrid's history. Now the only competition left is to become the best keeper in La Liga's history. I don't think there's ever been a keeper in La Liga with the level of individual performances Courteous has. Courteous shut the door early on, and honestly, his form is maddening and frustrating for Real Madrid at a point where every match they try out a new defensive setup and test new players. Courteous is the one who can give the team a sense of security and confidence, keeping them steady. I don't think anyone would disagree with that, whether they're harsh or lenient, whether they love or hate Real Madrid. Everyone agrees on one thing: they dislike Courteous. Whether it's for football reasons or other reasons, everyone knows his style and how he does things. Is the overall situation getting better? No, things aren't really improving, but they're settling down a bit, coming together slowly. You can feel that something starting to take shape around Real Madrid has basically become a tradition. Like, as soon as you see their muscle-bound players and the lineup on the field, you just know they're going to play in a style similar to what they had with Carlo Ancelotti. That style is all about a lot of individual skill, but still helps the team look good and get positive results. So, the moment we saw there's no Arda Güler on the field, and then that he's not even starting, And we saw Valverde playing on the right side. His role is probably to cover Arnold when he moves forward. And Camavinga, Chouamé, and Blingham in the midfield. We knew Real Madrid was going into this match holding back a bit. But one thing about the games where Real Madrid plays cautiously is that they end up being similar to the matches under Carlo Ancelotti. I mean, the performance might not always be great, but what we expect while watching the game from a results perspective is that the outcomes will be better, and they'll get positive results. We'll see Real Madrid able to come out with a good outcome and do something solid. Honestly, at this stage of Real Madrid's journey in La Liga, wasn't really struggling or anything like that. It's not like they couldn't handle losing or drawing a second time, because on paper Madrid had only lost once in the league against Atletico Madrid, which is expected because when you're in that position you have to take the chance. Since then they've had draws. But if you actually look at how they played on the pitch, we all know pretty well that the team needed results more than anything else. Those results had to come no matter what. At some point, you just have to get a positive outcome. Real Madrid just needed to win for two main reasons. First, to save the pride of the players on the field. Honestly, keeping the players' pride intact wasn't a huge deal at first, but as the bad results kept piling up, it became a bigger and bigger issue. Second, we need to be real here. There are things we have to watch out for. Maybe some players just hate the system. Maybe Vinijr has problems with Xabi Alonso. Or some players just don't fit into the system. Like 5, 6, 7, or even 10 players, we could talk about them in Real Madrid, is just starting to wake up and get things rolling. Maybe Jude Bellingham isn't the perfect fit for Madrid, but there's something else you notice when you watch the game. Or step back and look at the bigger picture. It's kind of embarrassing when you think about how Barcelona is having one of their worst seasons ever. Yet, they're still top of La Liga by 4 points. Honestly, Barcelona fans yesterday got a whiff of last season. The feeling of some happiness. That match between Barcelona and Atletico Madrid was one of the few moments where a Barcelona fan actually felt some relief and joy while watching. Even when they were down 1-0, he felt like they could come back and win the match. Barcelona fans know their team isn't at the same level as last season in terms of performance, strength, and how they move on the field. They know it's really tough, but at the same time, it's super embarrassing for Real Madrid. You know why? Because if you look at Real Madrid's usual pattern over the years, this season was supposed to be the one where they collect the rewards of the hard work from the past 2 or 3 years. But since it's Real Madrid, nothing is ever straightforward. Remember the year Real Madrid won the Champions League for the 15th time? That was supposed to be the transitional season for Real Madrid, with Carlo Ancelotti just trying to get through it smoothly and keep things steady. But instead, Real Madrid ended up winning La Liga and the Champions League. Yeah, that's the season we thought was just a transition. Remember back then, we were saying, it's a rebuilding year, and it's okay. Things are fine with the squad. Even with Bellingham coming in as a second striker, they kinda messed it up. The guy was brought in for like 1.5 million just to keep things flowing and smooth it over. But in the end, Real Madrid wrapped up the season as La Liga champions, and winning the Champions League, this was a whole different story. Totally changed when it comes to Real Madrid. Real Madrid at the peak of the phase people used to call I'm stuck. This was the phase where Madrid won all the titles. Then we moved on to the next season, which was supposed to be the final stage of building and for the team to stand on its own feet. But Real Madrid gave us really bad results and terrible performances. With the arrival of Kylian Mbappé, things got worse on the pitch, and the result was that Real Madrid ended up with a 0 season. A season where they won 2 trophies, the UEFA Super Cup and the Intercontinental Cup, which frankly didn't mean much. These might be titles that other big clubs have in their records, but for Real Madrid, they don't mean much. So, coming into this season, the fans' frustration level is really high. Why? Because, just going by the storyline we're following, this was supposed to be the season where Real Madrid comes out and dominates everything on the pitch. But everything is going the opposite way. And honestly, the people at Real Madrid themselves don't even know what to make of it. Everything's just happening randomly, like luck deciding how it goes, and we just have to hope things get better. Real Madrid's the team that always tells its story in a way that doesn't make much sense. It's like starting one of those Iron Trilogy movies or something. I'll start by saying Iron Man beat Thanos, kind of like how Real Madrid is right now. Real Madrid started off beating Thanos, but now they're struggling against teams like Celta Vigo, Real Oviedo, and facing weird things happening in La Liga. The main issue with Real Madrid's story is that it's not consistent, and that's why a huge part of their fans feel really, really frustrated. It's a bitter feeling because if you asked Real Madrid fans before the season started who their main rival was, considering Barcelona's injuries and the departure of Inigo Martinez, they'd probably say this season is more like a fight between Real Madrid and Athletico Madrid based on the readiness of their squad. Atletico Madrid has the most ready lineup. They have more available players in offensive and defensive situations. Real Madrid was theoretically considered the second most prepared team, but when you look at the season and see that Barcelona, despite all their injury problems and the chaos in the team, is the one leading the league, while Real Madrid is trying to catch up, that wasn't expected by anyone, honestly. I know there are a lot of loyal and true Barcelona fans. Someone might say I'm exaggerating or overdoing it, but no, guys, I still stand by my opinion. If Barcelona wins La Liga this year, it'll be a historic title. It should be considered one of those legendary wins. I see this season for Barcelona. If they manage to clinch La Liga, it'll be just as significant, same quality and historic level. Barcelona fans, if fate has it that they win La Liga this year, it'll be unforgettable. They have to go all out with the celebrations, really celebrate with full heart, and turn this league into a historic title that people talk about. Because, literally, he stood up to two trains teams. Teams that were supposed to be dominant, but one was struggling with endless internal problems, always blaming everything on others. And the other had Diego Simeone, who you know is basically more important than the president at Atletico Madrid. Real Madrid deserved the win. It was a much-needed return to positive results, and it felt like the team was standing on its feet again. It was really important, and I think the Real Madrid fans truly needed some space because things had gotten really frustrating and annoying. They just wanted to feel like my team was standing strong and capable of doing something. But like I always say, in the end, this is just my personal opinion. What really matters is what you all think. Please share your thoughts in the comments. This was EZ Football. To see you again soon.